The Atrum Alpha Opportunity Fund Incorporated has one mission: to look for the winners of tomorrow. The fund actively finds the fastest growing Philippine companies with high quality management and sound business strategies. This growth has often translated to higher stock prices. The fund has a proven track record of selecting companies outside the Philippine Stock Exchange Index that were eventually included in major indices, while most funds in the market stay within the Philippines' top 30 companies. This has led the fund to consistently outperform the market in the long term. Furthermore, the fund invests in long-term drivers of growth that could provide significant gains for investors, such as technological advancement, tourism, infrastructure, and sustainability. Invest in the potential of the best growth stories the Philippines has to offer. Invest in the Atrum Alpha Opportunity Fund Incorporated. For more information, visit www.atrum.com.ph. What is a bond fund? Why invest in a bond fund instead of directly investing in bonds of actual companies? Corporate bonds are borrowings of companies to help finance their operations. In general, bonds are interest-bearing investments. You earn interest when you buy this particular investment. Think of a single corporate bond like a plant. It grows over time and blooms. Meanwhile, a corporate bond fund is more like a garden. A garden is more satisfying than a single plant. It contains different types of plants and flowers that are carefully picked and monitored by gardeners. They are studied every day to ensure that they will grow and bear fruit. The Atrum Corporate Bond Fund is designed similarly. Recommended to investors with a moderate risk appetite, the fund provides you returns like that of a corporate bond but invested into multiple corporate bonds, providing you more safety in case one of the multiple companies are unable to pay. Diversification is ensured to make the fund more efficient and stronger than owning a single bond. The fund pays regular annual dividends, providing you with a small stream of income. Unlike a corporate bond, the fund provides you liquidity without sacrificing the price. And lastly, the fund is actively managed and constantly studied to minimize the risk of the fund losing money. Invest in corporate stability. Invest in the Atrum Corporate Bond Fund. For more information, visit www.atrum.com.ph.
Trees are your main source of converting carbon dioxide to oxygen. They hold the soil in with their roots, so you prevent landslides. And well, like in our case, we're planting fruit trees, so they provide now food and sustenance for all of us.
Well, RAFI is probably one of the most prestigious foundations in the Philippines doing good work. And we want to collaborate with foundations and folks that do good work. And that's our main purpose. Well, planting trees is, to me, about sustainability. You know, the tree is the only living organism in the world that does not die of old age. It can live and live forever if you take care of it. And so that's sustainability at its prime. And that's what we want to support and achieve.
We're all about collaboration. You know, when we grow, not just the business, we want to make sure that it has a growth and an impact to communities. It has a growth of our clients' lives, and we want to do it with great partners.
We want to be able to influence people to become biodiversity champions, and by that we mean that it's not enough to just plant the trees. We need to ensure the survival of the trees.
Dako kay gikatabang sa kalikupan, makaprotekta sa mga kalamidad karon o usa sad nakatabang sa dako sa amo ang mga farmers nga nakahatag og kanang mga ginagmayng income nga rin namo.
You know, tree planting is one thing. Symbolism of planting a tree is it bears fruit. And that's what we're doing today. We're planting fruit trees. That fruit sustains life. Again, that's one of the reasons why we do this.
The Atrum Alpha Opportunity Fund Incorporated has one mission: to look for the winners of tomorrow. The fund actively finds the fastest growing Philippine companies with high quality management and sound business strategies. This growth has often translated to higher stock prices. The fund has a proven track record of selecting companies outside the Philippine Stock Exchange Index that were eventually included in major indices, while most funds in the market stay within the Philippines' top 30 companies. This has led the fund to consistently outperform the market in the long term. Furthermore, the fund invests in long-term drivers of growth that could provide significant gains for investors, such as technological advancement, tourism, infrastructure, and sustainability. Invest in the potential of the best growth stories the Philippines has to offer. Invest in the Atram Alpha Opportunity Fund, Incorporated. For more information, visit www.atram.com.ph. What is a bond fund? Why invest in a bond fund instead of directly investing in bonds of actual companies? Corporate bonds are borrowings of companies to help finance their operations. In general, bonds are interest-bearing investments. You earn interest when you buy this particular investment. Think of a single corporate bond like a plant. It grows over time and blooms. Meanwhile, a corporate bond fund is more like a garden. A garden is more satisfying than a single plant. It contains different types of plants and flowers that are carefully picked and monitored by gardeners. They are studied every day to ensure that they will grow and bear fruit. The Atram Corporate Bond Fund is designed similarly. Recommended to investors with a moderate risk appetite, the fund provides you returns like that of a corporate bond but invested into multiple corporate bonds, providing you more safety in case one of the multiple companies are unable to pay. Diversification is ensured to make the fund more efficient and stronger than owning a single bond. The fund pays regular annual dividends, providing you with a small stream of income. Unlike a corporate bond, the fund provides you liquidity without sacrificing the price. And lastly, the fund is actively managed and constantly studied to minimize the risk of the fund losing money. Invest in corporate stability. Invest in the Atram Corporate Bond Fund. For more information, visit www.atram.com.ph.
Trees are your main source of converting carbon dioxide to oxygen. They hold the soil in with their roots, so you prevent landslides. And well, like in our case, we're planting fruit trees, so they provide now food and sustenance for all of us.
Well, RAFI is probably one of the most prestigious foundations in the Philippines doing good work. And we want to collaborate with foundations and folks that do good work. And that's our main purpose. Well, planting trees is, to me, about sustainability. You know, the tree is the only living organism in the world that does not die of old age. It can live and live forever if you take care of it. And so that's sustainability at its prime. And that's what we want to support and achieve.
We're all about collaboration. You know, when we grow, not just a business, we want to make sure that it has a growth and an impact to communities. It has a growth of our clients' lives, and we want to do it with great partners.
We want to be able to influence people to become biodiversity champions, and by that we mean that it's not enough to just plant the trees. We need to ensure the survival of the trees.
Dako kay gikatabang sa kalikupan, makaprotekta sa mga kalamidad karon o usa sad nakatabang sa dako sa amo ang mga farmers nga nakahatag og kanang mga ginagmayng income nga rin namo.
You know, tree planting is one thing. Symbolism of planting a tree is it bears fruit. And that's what we're doing today. We're planting fruit trees. That fruit sustains life. Again, that's one of the reasons why we do this.
The Atram Alpha Opportunity Fund, Incorporated has one mission: to look for the winners of tomorrow. The fund actively finds the fastest growing Philippine company.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Good evening. We are back. We are back with our, believe it or not, it's our final last live stream for 2022. We've been doing this every month. We featured many things, talk about inflation, about investments, about a lot of things. And I hope na nakakatulong tong live stream para sa inyo. Again, I'd like to get your feedback. Should we continue with the live stream for next year? Do you want it every month? Are you willing to still tune in? Because we had a pretty good run doing this live stream. So I just wanted to find out kung okay pa ba sa inyo. So pakilabi niyo na sa chat kung should we continue doing the live stream every month in 2023. And we're going to be having a great session tonight. I'm really excited. Now, every time I work with this dear friend of mine, it's always going to be not only insightful, minsan animated talaga. So masaya ito. But again, allow me to be one of the first ones to greet you. Merry Christmas, guys. Merry Christmas. And I'm sure some of you are now experiencing the joy of your 13th month pay. So iba masaya dahil may 13th month pay. Ako malungkot kasi ako yung nagbibigay ng 13th month pay. So baliktad yung story natin. But then again, so we'd like to call in yung mga friends natin from ano, if you want, okay naman, magka-shout out lang tayo, no? So I'm going through the chat, no? So mga shout out, again, thank you for tuning in. Again, may request kami, no? Pwede ba paki-share? Please share. This is going to be a wonderful, insightful live stream tonight. And we want to get more people to join. We're already about 50 now. And normally we get 200, 300. If maybe we can break the record for our very last live stream. So can you please share the live stream to social media nyo, tag your friends, invite everybody, no, to come in. And yan, sabi, tuloy ko daw next year. That's assuming marami pa rin nagko-support. Pag wala nagko-support, sayang lang yung effort natin, ano? So I'd like to say hi, Meg Melia, my friend from Cebu. Meg Melia, thank you for coming. Yes, sharing of si Arman Benko. Long time no here, friend. Do share it. You can share the FB lives. May share button po yan, share nyo lang. And we want to encourage you to share the live sessions. Tag your friends, include them, no? Kung ano yung mga social media nyo, nakatag to. So we are here live in Facebook. We're also live in YouTube. So yan, para depende sa preference natin yan. Thank you for encouraging us to continue. So we'd like to say hi to some people, no? So okay, hi Red Sabroso. Okay. So familiar names, no? Talagang, and good evening Kathleen Aragon. I wanted to find out, taga saan kayo? Where are you from? Where are you watching this live stream from? Meron ba mga taga out of the country? Kadalasan marami tayo Middle East, may US, and also again, si Michelle, no? Michelle Landonio is watching from Singapore. I was there in Singapore last September. O yan, okay. Love Singapore. Na-miss ko Singapore. And thank you for those sharing, no? Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you, Raymond. For those of you, please continue to share. And I also wanted to find out, taga saan kayo? So I want to be able to do some shout-outs for you. Si Kathleen is from Las Piñas, all the way Las Piñas. So again, thank you. Red is from Cavite. Red is from Cavite. Si Doc Alvin, taga Manila yan. Ako taga QC. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody coming in? We're now above 60, so 63 and counting. So again, continue to share. Let people know that we're doing a live stream. We're going to talk about what's going on in the economy. We have a wonderful presentation from my friend tonight, si Doc Alvin. But again, would like to find out your thoughts about it. And of course, later on, we're going to entertain a lot of questions. No? So again, watching from El Nido. Wow, El Nido. Okay, sige. Pwede bang invite ko kami ni Doc Alvin doon? Okay, doon na kami mag-live stream. Masarap mag-live stream doon, no, sa El Nido. Okay, so again, Meg Melis from Cebu. Thank you, no? Mga fan, salamat, no? Si Koya Adrian is from Rosario, Cavite. Luis Francesca from Nueva Ecija. Jerry Gutierrez from Bacoor, Cavite. So again, good evening to everyone. Again, would like to shout out where you're from. And really, ito, maganda yung mga usapan natin. No? So, before we actually formally start, gusto ko malaman, because inflation is high, there's a lot of challenges, ano na mga changes na ginawa nyo, okay, to cope up with the high inflation, high cost of living? Ano na mga ginawa nyo? Ano na mga, baka may makatulong dito, no? Makatulong kayo, bigay kayo ng idea, and so, what have you done so far to adjust and to cope up with the high cost of living, the high inflation? Ano na mga ginawa nyo? Maybe may mga ideas kayo na pwedeng i-throw in, and practical something na ginawa mo, no? Hindi to masyadong, kasi minsan masyadong parang masyadong perfect, no, yung mga suggestion. Very practical. Something na ginawa mo. I wanna draw in from your personal experiences. Okay? Punta daw ako. Ayan, yeah, of course. Bigay nyo kami sa El Nido. Pupunta kami ni Doc Alvin. Ano? Okay. Ayan, si Casey, no, nag-add siya ng source of income. So, ang ganda ng approach ni Casey, no? This is more, sabi ko nga, minsan sa inflation, may defensive, adjust ka ng gastos, or merong offensive din. Find a way to increase your income. So, nagawa ni Casey, nag-increase siya ng income. Si Kathleen, nag-adjust din siya ng budget. Budgeting talaga to be able to make things. No? Ang hirap talaga. No? Budgeting is easier said than done. I was in the grocery. I was paying 20-30% more. Okay, napansin ko talaga yan. So yan yung problema. No? Kaya yung one of my approaches is to also augment my income. No? Side hustle dito, side hustle doon. One way to cope up with high cost of living and the inflation is to do that. Si Meg nag-adjust and nagbawas siya ng utang. Of course, that's a good strategy, no? Nag-clear siya ng utang, no? Para meron siyang more liquid siya, konti binabayad niya. Good job, Meg, no? Proud of you. What else have you done? What else have you done so far? Ano mga ginawa niyo? Practical approaches na ginawa niyo to cope up with the high cost of living, the high inflation. Ano mga nagawa niyo? It can be an offensive way, it can be a defensive approach. So maganda yan kasi pag pinopost niyo yan, marami nakaka-encourage yan. O si Norvie, sideline or side hustle. Okay? Yung tawag ng mga millennials sa agency yan, side hustle. Nung panahon namin ni Doc Alvin, tawag namin niya racket. No? So medyo negative ang dating kasi, rumaracket si Alvin at si Randall. No? Parang, ay nakakatawa na before, corporate environment, parang they kind of frown upon. Ngayon, it's totally accepted. No? So good job, Casey. Si JJ, medyo iba yung approach niya. No? Yung savings niya, minove niya daw to high interest digital banks. Okay, para at least humabol man higher interest return sa ginawa niya. Okay? And earnings from interest, yon pang-add to cart. Wise naman. Yung additional na kinita niya, yun ang pinapang-add to cart. Good job, Emil. Those are really helpful strategies that you've helped. Si Emil is watching from Coronadal, South Cotabato. Ayan. Sabi niya, nag-adjust sa food and budget and less eating out. Okay, less eating out. And some practical. Yung ganda nito, no? Just turning off the lights every time we leave. So every peso counts when it comes to times like this. No? Si Mr. Arman Benko. Okay, Arman. Sabi niya, adding new hard skill. Coding. Wow, hirap na. Arman, di ko na kaya mag-aral. No? Coding, possibly get new side hustle. Nang bawas, labas. Yan. Eat and drink out. Bawal yan. Nagbenta daw siya ng ibang item. Watches. Let me know what you're selling. Ganun, biglang ganun. Mali, no? Again, bawas eating out and more home cooking. Sabi ni Meg. Okay, alam ko, challenge yan, bro. Kasi Meg, kaibigan ko yan, no? Masaya yan pag lumalabas kami. Ella is watching from Saudi Arabia. Hello sa mga taga-Saudi Arabia. Meron mga taga-UAE. By the way, sa mga taga-UAE, I'll be back in March. Money Talks UAE. We're announcing it already. Everything's planned. It's gonna March 18 ang schedule namin. Marvin Guillermo is gonna be there. The other guests, we're gonna go there. Hello to Cavite, si Doc Alvin, dinala ko na rin sa ano yan. Dinala ko na rin yan sa Dubai and sa Qatar. Okay. Yan. Yun, sabi ni Kuya Adrian, me as a college student selling money in Yemen sa school. Good job. Yan, those two I can pay my paperwork expenses. Good job. Really encouraged. So, Kuya Adrian, ang ganda ng ginagawa mo. We want to encourage you. Okay, I want to encourage you from doing that. Ayan, so ano ba mga ginawa nyo? Okay? Seiko lang daw, hindi sa Swiss watch. Okay, so, pero syempre, di ba? Minsan kailangan mo gawin yan. No? I'm even, kasi meron ako isang hobby talaga. No? I'm kind of downscaling also that hobby. Kasi I'm into aquariums. So I have 2 running aquariums. I decided by January, I'm gonna decommission one. I'm just gonna keep one. I mean, just to keep my expenses on the lower side. So sometimes you have to make adjustments like that. No? Anybody else? Watching from Pavia, Iloilo. Uy, Mr. Arguelles, yung utang ko siya, alam ko. Hinahanap namin yung records mo kung bakit di pa nakuha yung certification. Anthony Delica, yung nanay daw, nagtitipid na sa Ricardo na niluto. Okay, sibuyas to, kalahati na lang. Okay. Yun. No? Pagpara naman lasa, okay. Nag-add din po siya ng side hustle. Nag-ano rin siya, freelancing. Good job. Again, ang dami niya ginagawa. It's highly encouraging. to what you're doing. We're now 88, and again, continue to share this live stream. We're going to be having a wonderful session tonight. Again, just wanted to hear from you. This is our last side hustle tuloy. This is going to be our last live stream for 2022, and I wanted to get the feel of the group or the crowd if I should continue this for 2023, doing a monthly live stream. Again, this was made possible by my friends from Atram. If you notice, no, meron kami mga pinopost about Atram. Later on, I'm going to show you where you can follow Atram. A wonderful investment company. I love working with them. Yan, so yan yun. Okay, thank you again for Atram. So ano na, bigla ako parang end na. So thank you for those who supported Andrew, Jeannie. Thank you for doing this, and also thank you sa aking dapat maganda yung mga live stream namin. No? Thank you to Brian and SoundCloud. Okay, may mga commercial tayo. Okay, so again, we're going to talk to you about those things. Very important that we have a wonderful discussion for tonight. So our topic for tonight is we're talking about what's going on in the economy, no? High inflation, what's going to be the impact, so dami yan. And of course, nobody can talk about this better than the one I'm going to be introducing. We all know our guest. His name is Dr. Alvin Ang. He's the head of the economics School of Economics in the Ateneo de Manila. But a little bit, hindi lang siya talaga from Ateneo. He spent, tama ba yun, 25 years in the University of Santo Tomas. Okay, Department of Economics. He moved to Ateneo. He has a doctorate degree from Osaka University. Kaya po mahilig sa Voltes 5 ko kaibigan ko. Joke lang. Okay, mahilig sa Japanese food. Okay, so and really, more than his academic background, I love, sayang di ko nakuha, no? May nag-post ng picture ng lahat ng mga brightest minds in economics, no? Andun si Deputy, si Diokno, andun lahat sila nandun, andun si Doc Alvin. Siyempre, sobrang proud ng kaibigan ko na kasama dun sa brightest minds of economics in the Philippines. Ayan. So, he's there. And more than anything else, I love his heart, the way he talks about economics, the way he teaches it. Kung siya po ang naging professor ko, okay, nung college ako, okay, malamang I have taken economics more seriously and probably, kasi pareho kami ng course, pero iba yung takbo niya. Siya yung legit, hindi ako legit. And really important. But I work with this guy. He has a heart and a passion for personal finance, teaching people, guiding people. He's a mainstay in my masterclass for financial advisor. We've been working, so Doc, siguro we're celebrating 10 years of friendship, working together, and lagi yan. Anything that has to do with economics, I run to Doc Alvin. And this man needs no introduction. He's my favorite economist. He's one of the best, brightest guy. Doc, pasok nga natin si Doc Alvin. Brian. Let's, ayun, Doc Alvin. Gusto ko yung background mo, bro. Merry Christmas na. Oh, naka-mute ka pa, pare. Naka-mute ka pa. Okay. Yun. Merry Christmas na. Ganda ng background mo. Paskong Pasko.
Pasko na kaya kailangan may iba na content. Makakadagdag yan sa sa presentation.
Pero hindi ba nakakadagdag sa inflation yan, no?
Well,
higher demand, ano? So yan, Doc Alvin, what have you been busy with? I know you spent many months in the US, nag-sabbatical ka, and then when you got back, they announced that you're the head of economics for the Ateneo. Ano ba yan? Akala ko mag-retire ka na, bro.
Oo nga Hindi pa yata Hindi pa. So,
sa edad namin ni Alvin, minsan ang pag-uusapan namin, kaya kayo mag-retire. Ano? Anyway, so yan, Doc Alvin is in the house. Yan yung So I know he's your favorite. And really, Doc, so many things are happening. But siguro ganito na lang, Doc, I'm gonna turn over the floor to you. I know you have a wonderful, insightful presentation. And then, after you presented, I'm gonna go back. Let's facilitate. Okay ka ba sumagot ng mga tanong mamaya sa crowd? Marami po nagtatanong dito sa crowd. Okay ka lang? Sige. So, turning you over the presentation to Cloud Studio pala yung grupo ni Brian. Ano sabi ko? SoundCloud? Okay, Cloud Studio. So, maka-copyright daw ako. Anyway, ano ba ganda pag live lahat pwede mangyari, no? So, turn you over to Doc Alvin. Paki-highlight na nga si Doc Alvin. Yan.
Thank you, Randel. Sige. Pwede ba ako mag-share ng screen ko para yan. Okay. Sige. Ano lumalabas? Yan. Okay. Kita na ba ng lahat? Can you see my screen? Yan. Okay. Unahin. Yan. Full screen na, no? Yan. Magyayabang lang ako kasi our Economic Research Center is the only one who got the forecast ng GDP, no? And we always get this right in the past how many months already? I mean, years na. So just telling you how serious we are in doing our research and helping others make their plans very well. Okay? Balikan lang ako dun sa main presentation ko. Balikan ko. Tanggalin ko muna. Nagyabang muna ako eh. Sige. Okay. So let me share it again. Okay, so this is a very short update on the economy. So para lang align tayong lahat. Ano? So I titled, this is a presentation that I have been giving in the last 3 weeks. And really, it's an analysis of what's happening moving forward. You know? As you can see, actually, the Philippine growth situation in scenario is one of the best in Asia, and it's going to beat all forecasts. No? So, na-surprise yung mga marami, including our local forecasting institutions, that our economy is growing very fast, no? Faster than expected. In fact, we would have gone back to 2019 already. I mean, in the third quarter, baka bumalik na tayo sa 2019 levels. Kasi in 2019, our economy was about almost 20 trillion. We lost about 10% in 2020, but gained about 6% in last year, 2021. So this year, we just need to grow another 4.5%, 5%. So we will cover already 2019. But our expectation, forecast, we will grow about 7.7 for the full year. So na-reach na natin yon. Okay? Kaya lang, of course, since we were derailed by a significant 10% decline in 2020, we actually lost about 25% of economic potential. Yun yung sayang, no? But then wala na tayong magagawa. But just to make it known to us that we have lost a lot in the pandemic, no? Hindi siya basta-basta. 25% is a lot, okay? And where is this growth coming from? And you all know about it, no? It's all coming from what you see, not only in Metro Manila, but in all urban centers of the country. Very strong consumer rebound, no? Yung mga tao, kahit mahal. Well, nag-uusap tayo kanina, naririnig ko, we are all being affected by very high cost inflation. But does it really matter? Comparing it to the 2 years that you were not able to spend. So I'm seeing here, and as you will see, data is that, you know, there is very strong consumer rebound in the last 1 year na to, patuloy na paglago. And this is proof of that. If you break down where are the people spending their money, so if you follow 2019 quarterly, saan na pupunta, makikita mo pre-pandemic, this is the nature, no? Priority is education, recreation, and then miscellaneous, mean all other things not counted. But then the pandemic, we all moved to just communication, housing, and food. All right, and then from beginning this year, you see, it was tremendously way above their restaurants, no? Ang taas, restaurants and hotels, recreation, culture, and transport, top 3, consistently in the last 3 and even a full year already. But mind you, if you look at the numbers of their growth, that is what is amazing, no? In the third quarter, naakala natin tapos na yung rebound na yan because pumapasok na yung mga tao going back to work. But the growth of recreation restaurants are unprecedented, 40%. no? And that's contributing a lot to the traffic that you're seeing around you as well, no? And this was made possible by extremes, no? There are extremes, extreme situation. The people who did not spend much during the pandemic but continued to earn, no? Like some of you probably were in that situation. You were working from home. Since you are not spending much than those basic necessities lang, naipon yung pera niyo. No? In fact, our growth, the savings of the economy grew by 1 trillion during the 2 years of the pandemic. And that 1 trillion usually takes us 3.5 to 4 years to reach, no? Nakuha in 2 years. So that's how much money was grown during the pandemic. But we know already, beginning June, wala na, wini-withdraw na yung peak na yan, no? Nakita na natin na nagwi-withdraw na yung mga tao, but which is not necessarily bad because you need the savings that were supposed to be used to generate economic activity is now being used, no? And one thing that helped the economy grow very fast was also digitalization, no? Many people prior to the pandemic, this is from the BSP National Inclusion Survey 2021, they found out, no, yung growth ng mga may formal account doubled, no, from 29 to 56%, no. That's amazing. I don't care if these are just wallets, but still, no, because now they have accounts, it's easy to negotiate, to work things out because lahat yan meron ng access to formal banking, no? Even insurance bumaba in the sense na siyempre hindi priority yung insurance. In fact, nag-withdraw ng insurance yung iba nung height ng pandemic, no? Extremes yan, no? So yung mas may pera nag-i-insure, pero yung the general public bumagal, no? And then investments also increase, no? At that, no? So and it's across the board, no? Across the board, meaning ABC, ano man ang income level mo, nagkaroon ng access to financial services. It's all around the country. It is regardless of age, regardless of gender, regardless if you are rural or urban, regardless if you are educated or not. So it just tells you that the pandemic had made something very important in relation to financial services. And this data is just amazing, no? Kita natin yan. So that helps also in the consumer recovery because people have now been used to apps, online systems, online banking, online shopping, you know. So malaking naitulong nun. Okay? Now, if you look, ang tanong kasi doon will we sustain this kind of a growth path? No? So if you look at the previous before the pandemic, ang growth talaga ng Pilipinas is really coming from services. No, this is the reality. We are a country that does not produce products that can be traded physically. No, we don't produce much manufactured items. No, so kaya we are dependent on services. So ang malaki dyan yung wholesale and retail trade, yung transport, no? And some of you are in the financial sector, real estate and the likes. These are all contributing more to the economy than the other sector like manufacturing and agriculture, no? And if you look at the jobs, no, that are being created, this is interesting, no? Kasi makikita mo if the growth is sustainable, dapat nagmamatch yan saan nagkakaroon ng work. No? So when we first opened up first quarter this year, you see a lot of jobs being created almost across the board, no? Yung blue. Nung pagdating ng March to June, ayan, marami nang hindi bumalik, na wala na. In fact, I'm very sad that we are losing jobs in agriculture, losing jobs in trade and the others, no? So it's just telling us something, no? Saan ba na maraming jobs na nakikreate? Doon sa other services. Ano ba yung other services na yan? Actually, ito yung other services. Diyan maraming work. I'm sure many of our ordinary people are working in this sector, no? Ano yan? Wellness, yung repair of electronics, computers, repair of household goods, no? Nandiyan din yung laundry, nandiyan din ang funeral services. No, imagine, this is where a lot of the work that are being generated, and that's why people are moving into the cities for that kind of work. No? Yung employment, ito pa, no? Bakit ang laki ng growth na economy? Actually, pre-pandemic, our employment level was at about 40 million, no? Yan yung green line diyan, no? 40 million. But now, no, current levels, no? Ano yung employment natin? Our current level employment is at about 45 million. So that means we added 5 million jobs into the economy. Okay? So no wonder there is money to spend. No? Kasi ang daming may trabaho. Of course, hindi pa lahat may trabaho niyan, no? At hindi pa lahat gustong magtrabaho. Pero mas madami ngayon ang may trabaho kaysa prior to the pandemic, no? Come to think of that. That's to me an unprecedented recovery in jobs, in recovery in the economy that gave a lot of job opportunities to people. No? The only question is the quality of those jobs and the sustainability. Kasi malamang dahil nagbukas no? So, at may ipon din yung ibang company. So marami rin silang hinahire pang tao. So sana sustainable yan. No? This is the challenge there. No? Kasi even with that, I was just talking to my older half-brother who I have not seen for a long time. Kwentuhan kami over this past week. Sabi niya, dito sa Pilipinas, ang observe ko, yung mayaman talagang mayaman, yung mahirap talagang mahirap. No? So the middle class is thinning, and this is data being shown to us really. The disposable income of the rich is 14 times the lowest decile. No? Dito ka lang makakita ng mga luxury goods. Tapos dito ka rin makakakita na may luxury na mga sasakyan like ano ba to, Lamborghini and others, at meron ding mga nakakariton in the same place. No, that's the reality that we are facing. Very large this inequality. Despite the growing economy, the main beneficiaries are just is everybody but trickling to the rest. No, and also the pandemic actually increased, no, yung poverty rates. I did not put it here, no, but data just came out this afternoon from SWS from a survey they made in October. Sabi ng mga tao, 30% people said their lives improved in the last quarter. And 30% of people said their lives got worsened in the last quarter. So ibig sabihin, net satisfaction ng mga tao, zero. That's not necessarily bad, no? So yun yung sinasabi ko eh. May mga nakinabang sa pandemic at meron ding nawala dahil sa pandemic, no? And the challenge is that if we don't help these people, particularly our agriculture sector, and Randall and our friend sila Dodo, we have been pounding on this to not just government but to you people. We cannot wait for the government to produce food for us. This is something we are collectively responsible for, no? Pag hangga't mahirap ang mga farmers, walang magfa-farm. No? So sino magfa-farm? Dapat yung may mga pera ang go into farming, go into fishing. No? This data is not surprising. It has been there for years. No? The farmers, the fisher folks, and those in rural areas are the poorest member of our society, and that's why they don't benefit much, no, from the growth. And the result is what you are seeing today, no, which is not new. Okay, lagi tayo may kakulangan because we don't produce oil, we don't produce basic goods now, no? And now that we have moved to importing, including food items, that is a big challenge for us. Our inflation is a supply driven inflation, no? Hindi siya inflation caused by too much money. No, that's not true in the Philippines as a whole. No, partly yes for those who are rich, but since the rich are not the majority in this country, they could not create that kind of a demand. So yung mahihirap ang naapektuhan dito, no, the supply of goods and services, no. Saan ba galing yan, no? Because inflation in the Philippines is largely food, no. It's about 40% food, and you add another almost 20% restaurant, ano na yan, almost 60 to 70% food related. So pag mahal ang pagkain, mataas na ang presyo ng bilihin. That's what we are experiencing today, di ba? Actually, what is surprising is that rice used to be our major problem, but now the inflation of price is actually negative, meaning it has become cheaper because we keep on importing rice, no? So not necessarily bad for the consumers, but bad for the farmers, no? Until when can we import rice? Yan yung question dyan. And then the flip side of that is the other food items, we are also importing them. Late tayo nag-import, kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng supply issues, no? Onions, fish, pork, hindi lang yan, garlic, maraming vegetable products we are importing, including fruits. So pag mahal yan, apektado tayong lahat, no? Yeah. So, and by the way, that problem is not a local problem. It's a worldwide problem caused by, also aggravated by Russia and Ukraine. No? The Russia and Ukraine are major producer of grain, no? Which wheat, no? Nagiging tinapay. So in our country, kaya nagmamahal yung mga pandesal, mga lahat ng bakery goods, no? Ang ang ano diyan is it's not a local problem, it's worldwide. And this is the reason why we have been calling since years and years back, kailangan meron tayong domestic capacity. What if lahat nawalan ng access sa pagkain at tayo ay nag-i-import? Mamahal talaga ang mga production, ang food and inflation natin. And this is one challenge also that is causing our problems today, no? Yung tinatawag nating fertilizer, no? Fertilizer prices have been very expensive, no, in the global market. And we need to be able to get fertilizer back into normal levels. Otherwise, yung mga farmers hindi gaganahan magtanim, no? This is interesting data from a website, from a group called Packworks, no, very young people monitoring what are being sold in the sari-sari stores, no, based on their inventory. No, makikita nyo, gumawa sila ng app for sari-sari stores. And indeed, no, mahal ang mga Christmas items. As early as September, tong data na to, yan, mahal na lahat yan. Kaya yung sinasabi ni Randall kanina, 20-30%, cumulative yun eh. So, pag inad mo, yan na yung lumalabas. Everything is expensive, no? Particularly food. So, don't be surprised if inflation remains above 6-7%. No? It could be even hit 8-9%. That's a very strong possibility. Okay? And because inflation is high, hindi naman yun ang reason kung bakit tumatas yung interest rates natin. No? Kasi, as I said, high interest rates, you can use that to counter when people have so much money. Kasi you want people to just save their money, not spend it. Kaso sa Pilipinas, hindi naman marami ang may maraming pera or very liquid. So, but we are increasing interest rates because of the interest rate differential with the United States. So, if the US keep on increasing interest rates, we still have to increase our interest rate dahil kapag sobrang taas na ng US interest rates, now they're about 4, no? So if they increase, then most likely they will increase another 75 basis points because just this morning, the jobs data in the US says walang pagbabago, marami pa ring trabaho. So maraming may trabaho, kasi marami pa ring may pambili sa kanilang economy, okay? plus coming from their ayuda in the past 2 years, maraming pera, maraming savings, no? So, but if they increase interest rates, we also have increased interest rates. Otherwise, the foreign exchange, particularly the dollars invested in the country, will go back to the US. And that will affect our exchange rate. Kaya yung piso, umabot ng 59, no, if you remember. It's because of the funds outflow, the dollar outflows was very quick, no, to move back. Now that the dust is settling down, hopefully kung magtaas man tayo, hindi na maging 6% sa local. So mga 5, pero mataas na 'yun eh. Right? So our inflation forecast, we think up to about first quarter mataas ang inflation natin next year. Pero bababa na siya beginning mga April. Pero nakita nyo elevated yan, nasa mga 7-6%, no? Malapit siya mag-kiss sa 9, pero nandyan siya. Yun yung reality, no? Okay. So, as I said, import dependent nga tayo, pero we have enough reserves. In fact, ang reserves ng Philippines can buy about 8 months of our imports, which is larger than Malaysia, larger than Indonesia, larger than Thailand, Singapore, South Korea. No? Ganun kadami yung reserves pa natin. No? Pero hindi dapat ipagyabang yan dahil ang bilis na ubos yung 1 billion niya, no? Just to make sure that the peso does not reach very high levels. No? Yan. So, sustainable naman yan. And also because some of you who are here, thank you so much sa mga remittance OFWs like you are working, sending back money, they help cushion the economy from extensive expenditures. No? Kasi import ng import eh. So wala namang pinoproduce na local. So more or less, yung padalang mga remittances help cushion to pay for the local expenditures, no? Local imports. At siyempre nakakatulong din yung mga business process outsourcing natin, which is a big segment of the local economy because they also earn in foreign exchange. 13 billion yan, no? Every year. So, i-add mo 13 billion plus 35 billion, roughly mga 50 billion earned from remittances and from remittances and BPOs. No? Malaki 'yon, no? That's about almost 1/2 of our exports, no? And so, kaya lang ang deficit kasi natin malaki, trade deficit. So, yun yung saan mo kukunin yung difference, no? Kasi kahit na nagpapadala, kahit na may export ka, kulang pa rin. Ganong kalaking import natin. So large import. So even the president said na we have to look for oil. No? One of the biggest source of our imports, oil. Puro oil lang natin dito. Gamit sa lahat. Wala naman tayo nun. Nakatulong sana ang tourism, pero bulk of our tourism growth was due to the Chinese economy. But that's very unlikely to recover in a year. No? Koreans, hindi rin marami pang bumabalik. No? So, may revenge travel, pero hindi kasama sa kanilang listahan ng Pilipinas. No? So, kung di uuwi ang mga balikbayan, ay yun ang makakatulong sa atin. Okay? Now, worried din tayo sa utang. No? Yes, we have large fiscal deficit, but we are not that bad. I mean, look, there are countries like Malaysia, even China has higher debt than us, India, Singapore, Japan. Malalaki mga utang ng mga yan in relation to their economy. Tayo 60. So, relatively manageable. But of course, hindi porket mas mababa tayo, okay lang. No. We're just saying that we are not in the worst situation. So, if richer countries can survive with like Japan with 266% of their GDP, meaning yung kanilang economy 2.5 times larger yung utang nila kaysa sa economy nila. No, tayo 60% lang ng economy yung utang natin. No? So relative yun to the size of our economy. Okay? Right. Tsaka yung utang natin, most of them are long-term, 65% long-term. Most of them are domestic. Yun yung kagandahan. Hindi siya foreign exchange exposed. No? Although meron, pero not that much. Okay? Okay, so moving forward, this is my challenge, you know. So I think most of you here wanted to know where the economy is going. The sustainability of the growth that we have right now is dependent kung productive yung lahat ng sectors. But you can see here, no, yung orange represents yung output, yung blue represents yung employment, no? So pag pinagdikit mo yung output at employment, ibig sabihin ng productivity, di ba? So kung ang gusto sana natin, konting workers, maraming output. Kaya sa case natin, hindi lahat ng sector ganun, no? Agriculture, for example, for every one sack of rice, for my for simplification, requires 3 workers. For manufacturing, 1 worker to produce, let's say, at 2 chips, no? So mas maganda sa manufacturing, kaya lang konti lang hinahire nilang tao. Maraming tao sa construction, sa wholesale and retail, kaya lang tabla lang, no? Kasi wala namang physical output doon. Yung contribution lang nila sa GDP, wala pa silang maibebenta outside of the country. Our transport system, despite many drivers, many vehicles, very inefficient. No? Why? Obvious ba? May tricycle ka, may sidecar, meron kang e-jeep, lahat dapat to be efficient, malaki yan. No? Trains and buses. Okay? Accommodation is also a challenge because ang dami gustong magpunta sa sector na yan pero hindi mo sila makakontribute. Ang pinakamaganda ay IT, finance, where most of you are, and real estate, in the sense that there are a lot of economic activities there, no? And very few are working in that sector, no? So marami pang opportunities dyan. Okay? But is the economy really recovering? Yes, we can see banks, firms are borrowing again. Sign po yun pag umuutang ang company na nagre-recover economy. Across the board, they are borrowing again. That's good. But the bad thing is if the interest rate continues to go higher, this will affect their expansion, no? Kaya nag-exit yung mga ibang SMEs. Plus, yung mga consumers, dito ako medyo na concern, no? Look, the consumers are borrowing and yet ang malaking in-increase ng borrowing ay credit card, no? Nangungutang na uli. Okay lang naman mangutang ng credit card pero especially now with still very low interest rates relative to the previous prior to the pandemic na ang interest rate nga nasa 36%, 48% per annum kaya. So ngayon pa. So but still, no, it's just telling us that people, the ordinary people are already have used up their savings. So they're using their cards and they're using salary loans. Okay? So nasan bang opportunity? Now, if you are a business person thinking of opportunities, these are opportunities in this country. No? Agriculture, inventory systems sa agriculture, cold storage, technology, no, land use, no, housing, napakalaki ng backlog dito. Of course, a lot of money is required, but then, you know, if we can just give people houses, marami-rami sila mapagkagamitan dyan. The national ID is an opportunity. We must make good use of it. And dapat yung skills training natin, firm-directed, hindi yung government offered. Dapat anong need ng firm, yun ang training na ibinibigay. Now, gusto niyo malaman ano yung mga next na mga products na i-import natin o kukulangin na naman tayo, you will see. No, this is to me very disheartening if you see this data. You know, this is data about 20 years of major food products in this country or lahat ng kinokonsume natin. Look, the lines are almost all flat, di ba? Ibig sabihin, the same output level last year. Let's say last year 100, this year 100, hanggang 20 years na 100 pa rin ang pinoproduce. Dumadami yung tao. So naturally, kukulangin ka and that's why you import, no? Now, in the next in the right side, you will see actually onion may oversupply tayo at some point in time, at least until 2020, but naubos na 'yan, no? Ibig sabihin, dahil nag-oversupply, natakot, hindi na nagtanim. Kaya nawala, no? So yung mga iba, kaya makikita mo, wala, very clear here, walang planning yung pagpo-produce ng mga mga agricultural products, So you'll see that very clearly, Garlic, ginger, pechay, lahat yan, flat. Okay? Housing, as I said, ang backlog, alam niyo kung ilan, about 7 million houses all over the country, backlog, So ayaw ko kailan nila mapupunuan yan at sino magpupuno niyan. Okay, just as I end, our forecast lang, this forecast of our team at Ateneo, sharing it with you. Ang economy natin this year, yes, 7.7 kaya. Pero next year, magbabagal na yan. Hindi man continuous na ganyan palagi. At bakit? Magno-normalize na yung matataas na growth like the growth in accommodation, the growth in transport, yung in-highlight ng yellow. Yan yung mga sources of growth eh. Magno-normalize na yan. Babagal-bagal na yan ng konti, pati yung other services. Kasi yan nga yung cause of the opening of the economy lang. Kaya biglang lumaki. Okay? So I think I'll stop there, Randall. So just be guided na, we cannot wait. We have data, we study it, we don't wait for perfect weather and do what we're supposed to do. Okay, thank you.
Okay. So thank you, Doc Alvin. So at this point, ganda ng discussion natin. A little bit of this discussion. So i-assess mo, where are we at this point in time? I mean, are we managing the economy as well as we should? Of course, syempre problema natin productivity, tsaka yung matagal mo na sinasabi to before pandemic pa, yung agri output natin, So hindi nag-increase yung output ng agri natin. Kung ano may output, inefficient, tapos ang bilis dumami ng tao. That's why we have to start importing, So everything's, I remember, because I cook, I've been using imported garlic for the longest time. Iba rin kasi quality rin ng output and everything. So what would, in terms of what the government is doing, na post-pandemic, ano ba? If you were to give them a scorecard, pasado ba sila sa'yo, economic team natin?
I think yes. Hindi naman maganda naman yung ginawa nila na hindi nila binago totally. I mean, hindi nila drastically ginalaw, Kasi pinabayaan nila. They just use whatever policies that were in effect before, prior, Tinuloy lang, Now, I'm not saying na hindi lang dapat tinuloy lang, Now we know that there are challenges now. We have to start working with, and they are not unaware of that. So they know that, for example, NEDA, alam nila na kailangan food security. So lalagyan nila dapat yan. Lalabas yung development plan na bago this month. So hopefully naka-incorporate yan.
Pero Doc, yung food security, that's not an issue of recent issue. It's been an issue for decades long. What would be different now moving forward?
Priority na siya ngayon. Dati kasi byproduct lang, bawa rice lang or corn lang. So ngayon, nasa agenda siya, food security. Yun yung nilagay na nila sa 8-point agenda.
So dati wala yung mga yan. Parang
specific very lang siya, in passing lang. So hindi siya nakakatulong. Kung gano'n, ibig sabihin, hindi ka nagbibigay ng right signal, di ba?
Mm-hmm. So, when do we start seeing progress pagdating sa ganyan? I mean, in a year, 2 years, or
siguro hanggang matapos ng term ni BBM. Kasi siyempre, structural yan These are structural in nature. You don't, even if you, let's say, put resources there right now, it takes years to change. Una, mag-change ka ng value chain. Mag-change ka ng way of doing things. Kaya hindi siya mangyayari kaagad-agad. Kaya we will still import, definitely. But then, dapat habang nag-i-import ka, parang ginawa sa rice, nag-i-import ka, pero may tariff. Yung tariff, tinutulungan mo yung farmers mo na local, na mag-develop ng capacities, na maayos yung output, yung ma-improve yung productivity. So, siguro, 2-3 years pa yung sa rice, before you really, go to the level na you're at par with international pricing, no? Pero in the same way, yung other products mo, ang dami niyan, no?
Kasi hindi lang naman rice ang component ng food natin.
Ito mo yung pork na lang eh.
Mm.
I was surprised that Spanish pork is now cheaper.
Yeah.
Makakabili ka frozen Spanish pork, mura, di ba? Bakit gano'n, no? Kasi hindi kaya ng local farmers mag-produce ng local livestock.
Yeah, and meron tayong mga hindi na pinoproduce like dairy. We haven't been producing dairy in a long time. Everything
merong paunti-unti pero hindi commercial but not enough for the demand, no? Ang laki ng demand eh, di ba? Yun. Kaya yun, kailangan natin yun. It's not necessarily hindi natin mababalik yung level na noon kaya natin mag-export. We don't care. We don't really need to be an exporter of
huwag na tayo masyadong dependent on importation.
Yes, that's the idea. So that we have our own supply.
Kasi problema din yan, Doc, no? So, if you're dependent on the others, pag ini-importa mo, nagka-supply problem, affected ka din. Siyempre, unahin nila sarili nila, di ba?
Yun nga yung sinasabi ko na yung pinakita ko yung wheat, di ba? Kaya ang mahal ng
Siyempre sila muna, di ba?
Lahat sila wala eh. Lahat wala eh. So, yun. Plus, itong rice, kaya ako din sinabi yung fertilizer, for example, naggumagamit ng fertilizer din yung mga natin, mga binibila natin. So, kung mahal yung fertilizer, like yung threat ng Vietnam at ng Thailand before is that pag hindi bumaba yung price ng fertilizer, they will not export. Kasi kukulangin na sila for their internal production. Parang ganun. So, kaya nga dapat, meron din tayong calibration sa ganun.
Yeah, very good. So, again, wonderful discussion, Doc Alvin, no? Now we see some problems of productivity side. And napag-usapan namin ito ni Dodong, no? By the way, Dodong, Alvin and I, magkakaibigan kami, no? Minsan yung agri natin, oversupply or undersupply, parang di na tumama, no? You will see them dumping tomatoes, not too long ago, oversupplying onions. And now we have an undersupply. So parang the planning is very, very important. And of course, syempre, we have to re-educate even agriculture, yung heart ni Dodo, no? The farmers need to be profitable, otherwise walang papasok dito. So that's something that we're trying to do. Doc Alvin, there have been questions that are being flowing in the FB group of ATRAM. So from Rainier Malyari, question, which among the local sectors are still at the bottom and not rebounding yet? Ano mga sectors na sa ilalim and makaka-recover ba sila? I mean, tourism is one of them. Ano pa mga sector?
Well, marami kasi small sectors sa Pilipinas, no? Yung malaki lang naman talaga is the big one lang naman talaga diyan are few, no? Manufacturing, agriculture, IT, wholesale, retail, trade, no? Most of these have really recovered and they have recovered very fast, no? Yung tourism nga, yun nga medyo lager siya. Tapos kaya nga hindi na
parang earnest sana yun, no?
Oo. Well, maraming din diyan kasi for example, yung mga airlines, nag-stop sila up to mainland Asia, Singapore, o Kuala Lumpur, ba't pa sila pupunta sa Pilipinas kung beach din lang ang titignan nila, meron din doon. So, mga ganun. So,
may issue tayo on infra, no? Infra of the tourism is still not yet. It's improved but still far from our neighbors, no?
Marketing din yan, no? Marketing yan. Yun, malaki ang kakulangan natin doon. Yung iba, hindi pa nakaka-recover, pero maaga sila nag-peak. For example, communication and utilities, nag-peak na sila eh. Nung height ng pandemic, peak na sila eh. So hindi na sila, nasa normal growth range na sila ngayon. In fact, hindi na nila maramdaman. Yung mga airline, malalakas pa yan. Tapos mag-normalize yan next year. Kaya babalik yung growth rate natin to about 6% after 2023.
Which is not a bad rate as long as we can sustain it, di ba?
Oo, kasi yun yung natin, tinatawag natin na average growth for the last 10, 20 years.
So next year ba, Doc, are we gonna go back to pre-pandemic levels?
Hindi, ngayon nakabalik na tayo, yung level. Pero yung growth, yun nga, babagal na. Babagal na. Pero, okay pa din eh. Ang ko lang is...
Parang nawalan lang tayo ng 2 kalahating taon, gano'n.
Oo, kaso yung level ang laki na wala. Sabi ko nga 25%.
So,
So,
binabalik pa lang natin ngayon.
alam mo ba yung 83-84 crisis natin, nabalikan lang natin yung growth path noon, yung level path noon kung nagpatuloy tayo noon was in the 90s already, no? At the early 2000.
Sa
So
dekada, no?
all 10 years, no?
Yeah.
To get it back yung momentum na yun. Kaya
But with that, we were able to do that in 2 years now because things are different today.
yeah, kaya lang yun nga yung sustainability niya, yung
Hmm.
sustainability. Hindi yung recovery, na-recover naman natin yung 83-84 in about 6 years. Pero yung level na nawala bago na balikan, year 2000 na. So ang tagal.
Ang
So
hirap, Doc, nung ano, no? Mahirap din mawala sa momentum, sa economics.
totoo. Oo. Parang nagda-drive ka yan, naligaw ka eh. Di ba? Tapos parang mag-umpisa ka uli eh.
Alam mo yung ano, Doc, no? Yung diesel, of course, diesel ngayon, hindi na gano'n, no? Yung diesel of the olden, ano, pag mabilis ka, pero pag huminto ka, mabagal-bagal mag-take off again. Although
Yeah.
that's a diesel today. Parang gano'n ang economy natin, no? Pag
Oo.
nahinto yan, it takes a while, no, to bring it back to the same level. Even the momentum growth. Alright, so, yan. Okay, merong question doon. Hindi ako ganun ka-sure kung ano yun, ano? What do you think about the proposed SWF?
Ito yung yung Maharlika.
Oh, okay, okay. The Sovereign Wealth Fund. Okay. So what are your thoughts about the Maharlika Fund? Sovereign Wealth Fund, sorry.
Yeah, so based on what I said, it's something that is a reference to a country that has the capacity, no?
Mhm.
Ang difference ng mayaman mahirap sa atin 14 times yung kinikita ng mayaman sa mahirap, no? So maraming mechanics diyan na pwede mong tingnan, no? Ideally, yes, we should have that if we have sources for that wealth generation, no? Yung sabi ko sa inyo ngayon wala nga tayong food security.
Yeah. Okay.
So meron kang gap, but ako gusto ko 'yan. Ang tanong, kaya ba natin ngayon? At meron ba tayong
Capacity.
resources, no?
Yeah.
Invest diyan within the country. So yun yung timing lang niya.
Okay.
But I mean, the idea has always been good, no? It has helped the Middle Eastern countries. It has helped Singapore. It has helped countries with excessive surpluses to be able to sustain, no? For example, Singapore nung pandemic, kumukuha sila sa surplus nila, diyan sa wealth fund nila to help the people.
Wala tayong surplus paano yan?
Yeah, well, theoretically may surplus tayo sa foreign exchange.
Pero hindi naman natin pwede gamitin yan ganun, di ba?
Oh, exactly. Yun. Pero hindi dapat kasi na-generate 'yon ng ating economy windfall, no? Yung mga windfall sana.
Yeah, okay. So the way I look at it from a sovereign wealth fund, this is really good and ideal for countries with very big middle class, where there's a lot of wealth to be distributed. So siguro ang issue dito is it's not whether it's not a good idea, it's whether is it a good idea now. I think that's a big issue. With everything that's going on, should that be our priority? Because you're gonna throw in a lot of resources to do the Maharlika Fund, no? Tama ba na ngayon gawin yan? So that's the big question. Okay, so si Casey Quintos asked, what can you say po about the dollar versus the peso? Do you think the dollar will continue to go down na? Are we gonna bring it back to the 52, 53 levels? Ano ba, Doc Alvin?
Pero kasi kung based on the current levels pa rin ng trade deficit natin, I think yan na yung level eh. We are that is the market level. Based on our sabi ko nga yung gap, no, ng import export, kasi yung gap napupunuan ng remittances tsaka ng BPO. Pero may gap pa rin yan. So yung gap na yan, mag-a-adjust yan sa exchange rate na kasi hindi na kayang punuan ng inflows eh. So at that level 55, 56, parang yan yung market level, no?
Unless ma-reduce natin yung deficit, hindi mag-i-improve yung peso dollar rate. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, kung fundamental, fundamental. But of course, sentiment wise pwede ka naman sentiment, 'di ba?
Yeah.
US di na magtataas ng interest rate. So, meron kang psychological impact dyan. No, plus,
Pwede po, correct.
sabi ng government, we will not allow the peso to cross 60. O, may psychological barrier kang ginawa. So, tingnan mo, hindi nakaabot ng 60 yung exchange rate kasi parang anong nangyari, may psychological number, no? May magic number. Actually, 60 na yun, 59.90 something.
Yeah, almost 60 na, almost to cross.
Naging 60, no?
Hindi lang natin inalaw mag-cross.
Yeah, yung gano'n. No, so, kung fundamental, we are already at the market range. That's
So, bakit ba tayo, why was the exchange rate not too long ago below 50? What were the fundamental reasons why we hit that?
Nag-below 50 kasi yung deficit natin no, halos nawala. Wala tayong ini-import, walang economic activity.
Okay.
So, tapos nagpapadala pa rin ng foreign exchange. May BPOs pa rin ng pandemic. No? So, nung height ng pandemic. So, mas marami yung inflows mo kaysa sa outflows mo. Doon nag-appreciate yung currency.
And guys, so you learned it. No? So again, inflow and outflow of the dollar. Pag masyadong maraming lumalabas sa dollar, konti pumapasok, you increase the exchange rate and the reverse. Okay. So the reverse. So unless we're starting to think of ways to bring in the dollar more, no? We were hoping before the pandemic, si Doc Alvin, we were looking at the tourism as an industry na medyo may fighting chance, no? But medyo binuro natin yan ngayon, no? Okay, so yan. So, okay, more questions about the sovereign wealth fund. We already discussed that. Generally, it can help the economy if done right. But the issue now for me, it's the right time to do it. Maybe it's just an issue of timing also, no? Okay, and marami nga ba tayo surplus to do that? That's another question with everything that we're trying to deal with. So, tama, I would agree with Dr. Alvin. Siguro before we do anything, we have to make sure that there's food security first, di ba? And most countries that were growing started with that first. They made sure. China went through that. Many countries, China, that did that. Tayo na pabayaan natin. Okay. So yeah. So more posture questions. No, para excited pa si Doc Alvin sumagot. No, I made sure that Doc Alvin is in a good mood. Okay, binusog ko yan kanina para sumagot ng questions. Joke lang. Internal joke natin. Okay. So from Rainier Malyari, looking at the trade balance indicator, is it really on the negative numbers? Which among the imports can we reduce quickly just to improve on the negative numbers? Possible ba yon na mag-cut down on importation?
Actually wala.
Wala, di ba?
Kasi parang lalaki pa nga yan kasi ang dami nating kakulangan eh. Wala tayong enough sugar. Wala tayong enough, yung mga food nga basically ini-import natin. Plus all the capital goods, equipment, ginagamit mo sa negosyo, sa expansion ng so talagang negative pa siya.
How about Doc Alvin, seasonal surge on items like sugar, wheat, because it's Christmas, pork, is that gonna add on to the inflationary pressures pa? And even on the trade deficits?
Oh, yun nga eh. Dalawa kasi yung impact sa atin nung kakulangan na yan eh. Inflation tsaka deficit eh. Trade deficit, no? So that's really why it's really important na magkaroon ka ng domestic capacity to produce all of this. Kasi kung wala ka nung mga yan, paano hindi ka mag-i-import, di ba? You will import definitely because you lack them.
Yeah, but Doc, it's gonna take years for us to improve that.
Exactly.
It gets worse before it gets better.
Meron namang sabi nga naririnig mo rin naman si Dodong at saka ibang kilala natin sa agri na mga private entrepreneurs. They knew that it's a matter of linking it together. Mm-hmm. For example, cold storage is not so expensive. It's a technology very much available to us. Now, if you only have cold storage all over the country, walang masasayang na tinanim na oversupply. May pagtataguan eh. Kaya naman na oversupply kasi nag-overtanim tapos wala na, kaysa bumagsak yung presyo, bakit itatapon mo? Di itago mo sa cold storage. 'Di ba? Sana ganun yung idea ng cold storage eh. And it's not something na hindi kailangan government. Cold storage can be run by private people.
And it can be profitable, no?
It can be very profitable, 'di ba?
That's why we've been pushing Dodong to be more active sa labas kasi we have seen how Dodong has done it. Maybe we'd have Dodong Okay ba yun? Gusto si Dodong Kakanando in our future live stream and how he was able to make his
Oh.
farm very, very profitable. Kasi
Mm.
possible, no? If you do it right. Okay. So, more questions. Just keep on posting your question, ano? Okay, what can you say about the Philippine stock market? Tinatanong, Doc Alvin. Siyempre, di ba? Bugbog. May konti recovery naman. But
I
what are
think
your thoughts?
I think right now the market is accurately priced, no? Yung price niya ngayon, yan na yun. Tingnan mo, hindi ako technical ano. But I think yung level niya based on the recovery track, tamang-tama lang yung yung pricing. Tamang-tama yung pricing niya. Kaya lang, of course, kung may upside, kasi kung next year may upside ka na another 6% sa economy, di i-distribute mo yung average na yan na 6%. So some firms will grow faster than that. Some will go below that. Like I said, may nauna na eh. Nauna na yung home tsaka utilities. So hindi na sila ganyong katataas ang i-grow. No? So ang mga upside mo pa dyan, na ngayon na matataas ay yung mga hotels, yung mga accommodation, mga food related, yun. And then ang ano mo ngayon diyan is magdedepend na ngayon yan sa new investments na gagawin nila. What are they, where are they putting their new investments, no?
Okay. Okay, so basahin ko lang mga comments. No? Thank you, Doc Alvin and Sir Randall, for this very informative presentation about the Philippine economy and sharing some insights about the controversial market upon hoping we prioritize certain resources like food and gas and lessen on imports. So yung lessening on imports, it looks good on paper, pero hindi siya viable kasi if we lessen, what can we lessen? Diba? We cannot say we'll import less rice. We cannot say we'll import less oil. I mean, that's not possible. So we have to do something internally to increase, to be less dependent on those things. And it will take time. So this has to be a priority that we're supposed to do. And again, public-private partnership for us to be able to do this. Otherwise, pare-pare tayong kawawa dito. No?
Yung natin sa lahat sa government kasi hindi rin nila kaya. Like, I think the president the other day also said that, di ba, yung maghanap tayo ng ibang oil sources. No? Kasi alam niya na it will take time to transition, for example, to renewable energy. Hindi naman solar nga, may solar, hindi rin, kailangan mo rin ng battery, mahal yung battery. So matagal matagal yung transition na yan. So nandiyan pa rin yung gas o power plants, sasakyan. So we will I think the president knows that. So and that's why he already made that appeal, no, to look for other oil sources. Domestically yun, ibig sabihin, even if we have to go to to the yung West Philippine Sea, maghanap tayo ng oil. Yun.
Okay.
Realistic. At least the president knows, no?
Yeah.
And passive dyan sa problema na yan.
Very good. And again, and anything in hindsight, this is something you should have been doing for the last few years, di ba? That's why very, again, easy to say from the sidelines, but we're now dealing with the neglect of many things in the past, and it continues to be neglected. So again, that's why we have to hold our government accountable in all the decisions. Okay, so start electing better people. Anyway, so tinatanong ni Mr. Arguelles, how strong as a factor is the ongoing war on Ukraine affecting the Philippine economy? We've seen that, okay? Oil price and everything. So, Doc Alvin, kasi connected ang buong mundo, no? Hindi to isolated lang, hindi sa Europe lang, but connected ang buong mundo. Even wheat and all these things are connected. So, Doc, can you hype on this? No, I'm sorry.
Siguro ganun kalaki in terms of trade, no? Because we're not trading so much with these two countries. But like what Landel said, yung repercussion, no? For example, if the oil price becomes too high, food prices becomes too high, it will affect all, even our trading partners like China, the US. So may pass on yun sa atin in terms of higher cost, no? And supply also, yun yung main challenge doon, nagkaroon ka ng supply crunch 'di ba? So kung walang supply, kahit na available, tataas yung presyo, 'di ba? So that's what we have been experiencing also.
Okay. So, okay, magandang tanong nga to, no, from Ronnie Fernandez. Sir, now that the schools are back face-to-face, may tutulong ba to sa pag-recover ng economy? Yung face-to-face na pinabalik natin mga estudyante and even the work. Meron ba?
Oo, kasi bibigyan mo ng baon yan eh. Bibilang mo ng damit yan. Bibilang mo ng sapatos yan. No? Consumption yan. No? Consistent yan. Sasakay ng tricycle, ng jeep, ng bus, o ihahatid mo.
Baon nila.
O yan. Ano yan? No? Imagine, ilang milyon yan. So, yung economic impact niya napakalaki. Yun lang mga nagtitinda, yung mga maghahatid sa kanila, lahat yan magkakaroon ng economic activity ulit.
Okay, so it's a good thing that we're forcing the schools open.
Yeah.
Ano ko, kahit na online humingi pa rin ng baon. No? Anyway, so kinukumpitan ako eh. Okay, anyway. So, hinihingi niya. Less na lang daw pero humingi pa rin ng baon. Okay, even in offices, di ba? But there's a move, no, na parang hindi na, kasi di ba, government's trying to open the BPOs back to face-to-face, but now they're kind of, maybe pwede naman work from home. How's that gonna be the dynamics for that with regards to economic recovery? Work from home and stuff like this.
Ano naman yan, realistic naman yun. Kasi unang-una, like, I mean, in our office setup, we like stay, go to the office 3 times, 4 times a week. 1 day, 2 days work from home. Parang ganun. It also like adjust to the reality na. No? I think that will be the norm. No? That's the norm all over the world now. So, but it doesn't mean that the businesses will be affected kasi hindi naman nagko-close yung mga offices eh. So hindi kayo sabay-sabay na mawawala. Hindi siya holiday, no? So ganun pa rin. Meron pa rin kakain sa canteen, meron pa rin papasok. So may expenditures pa rin, may consumption pa rin.
Okay. So, Doc Alvin, do we have agricultural programs in place or plans to help the agricultural sector for our food security? Meron pa talagang program o hindi pa to tongue-in-cheek?
Well, hindi kasi ako hindi ako masyadong abad sa mga actual programs. I look at the data lang ng mga nakikita kong kulang. Pero of course, there are programs, continuing programs. Ang tingin ko lang, ang basa ko dun sa mga programs ng government, they're mostly focused on product specific, which tends to parang sideline a general sense of a complete food value chain. No? Kasi kung product specific ka, tingnan mo yung narinig mo nung isang araw titigil nila yung import ng salmon, saka ng pomfret, di ba? Product specific parang lumalabas. Parang ganun. So pwede naman kasi general sana yung mga guidelines ng government, no? Matrabaho to, no? Kasi para sa akin, for example, a simple inventory of what you produce and what you have in each city or town would be tremendously impacting future production. So bakit nag-oversupply si Batanes? Kasi hindi niya alam kung sinong wala eh. Basta produce lang siya ng produce kasi maganda yung production ng lupa niya. So sana alam niya nag-oversupply siya sa ganito, baka may kukulangin din siya. So dapat nagne-negotiate na siya sa ibang areas sa Philippines na sa akin mo bilhin yung onions mo, for example, or garlic, because I will produce more than enough for our town or our province, something like that.
Hindi ba makatulong is having a more, better structure of cooperatives to do this thing kasi they can, parang work together, or is it not in the nature?
Yung cooperatives kasi sa atin, matagal na rin sa Philippines yan, but mostly I know these people, they're very industrious, hardworking, really wanted to help their members. But I think majority of the cooperatives in the country are mostly credit co-ops. So hindi siya production co-op, no? So ang credit co-op kaya lumalaki, kailangan umutang ka para may benefit ka, meron kang patronage, no?
Kasi diba, Doc Alvin, in other countries, ang strong ng mga production co-op nila.
Oo, like sa Israel, for example, kibbutz system.
structure nila, no, to do it. So maybe there are things that we can explore at least for those things. So another question, from Rinier Malyari, are there anything we can benchmark from our neighboring countries that we can implement immediately to help our ailing economy? Ano ba ginagawa nila na pwede natin kopyahin or benchmark? Siyempre, hindi natin pwede kopyahin ng Singapore, iba yun. But the other...
Well, marami naman actually na pwede nating kopyahin. For example, Vietnam, pwede nating kopyahin yung kanilang very productive workforce, no? May cultural challenge din kasi tayo sa Philippines eh. Saka itong mga countries na to, hindi sila, they work when it's time to work. They relax when it's time. Tayo kasi blurred yung work and relaxing time natin, di ba? Now, ito I always tell my executive students pag observe niyo yung mga staff niyo, yung mga workers niyo, the working time is also time to tell stories, to laugh together, di ba? Parang hindi bad pero it affects productivity in the country. Kaya nga isang Pilipino, pag nilagay mo sa ibang country, lalo na sa West, no, sa Europe or sa US, nagiging productive naman kasi napapasaya niya yung office o napapasaya niya yung workplace. So, sabi ko nga, I'm not a behavioral psychologist or organizational, but you have to check this. So, parang ganun, bakit yung mga Indonesians, Malaysians, Vietnamese, they cannot speak very good English, and yet they got lots of foreign investments because they just work during working hours, no? Parang yung kaiba in Vietnam, for example, in the Philippines, ganito lang, no? There are about 100 people who can actually work, only 60% are actually working. In Vietnam, it's about 85%.
Wow.
So, 20 people kaagad yung difference ninyo. Di ba? Yun malaking difference, no? Indonesia is about 75, no? Now, yung pa lang yun sa papasok sa work, yung ano pa yung ginagawa sa work, productivity na yun, di ba? So those things pwede mong gawin, pero paano, may cultural difference
So parang Dokan, sabi mo culturally petics tayo, parang gano'n.
Sabi ko nga, hindi siya bad thing Hindi siya bad thing. Kaya lang, nai-slow yung productivity.
Okay. Good. So, that's good to know, no? It's good to have conversations like this. So that we can have, at least we can be cognizant kung ano may mga problema din natin. Kasi hindi naman maaalis yung cultural at behavior dito sa, and sabi nga na Doc Alvin, it's about economics, all about our behavior collectively, So again, that's why Filipinos, when you bring them to other countries, productive naman sila Diba? They're highly productive in the Middle East. So what happens when they come back home? So again, many issues that are there. Guys, can you continue to, if you have, maybe we can take one or two more questions, for about the economy, what's going to happen. So just post it, So Doc Alvin, just to sum up, we're gonna maintain high inflation until first half next year? Parang ganon? Second quarter, first quarter?
Overall, mataas pa rin yan. Mga 6 ang pinakamababa siguro next year.
So when do we bring it down to a more, what's a reasonable number for you? 4?
Dapat bumalik tayo dun sa range na yun, 2 to 4.
2 to 4. When do you think it's gonna go back to 2 to 4?
Yan is a function of food prices.
Kasi sa atin, food talaga yung nagde-drive ng ng cost, no?
Function of food prices yan. Yung oil kasi, ito yun, isa pa, may warning ako kasi in China, for example, they're back to like zero COVID policy, di ba? Remember, China is under capacity in the last 3 years. Kapag yan nag-reopen ng economy niyan, they will, of course, that's good that they will reopen because the factories will they will increase demand, etc. However, they could also increase prices of oil again. Mabuti nga si China hindi siya kasali dito sa dahil mabagal mini-maintain lang niya yung growth niya eh. About 3, basta wag lang siyang bumaba sa 5 eh. Parang ganun, basta may 5% ako, okay lang. Tanggap niya. Pero
Siya yung gulo ngayon.
economy niya, baka double digit growth yan. No? Anong implication sa price of oil niyan? You know, come to think of it. I mean, we could not factor that because we don't know until when they will have this kind of a policy.
Sabi nila, oil, steel, food.
Lahat yan na hindi, yung mga steel siguro medyo mabagal kasi nag-oversupply na sila sa real estate eh. Pero yung oil kasi magiging mobile yung mga tao.
Again.
So, yun, no?
Okay, so magkakaroon pa ng more imbalance in the supply and the demand. Tataas yung demand, yung supply, hindi pa natin na-i-increase.
Hindi pa I mean, the world economy right now is not complete without China fully integrating back. Hindi pa siya eh. So, may isa pa tayong shock na papasok yan. And that
siyempre, if you're China, as to how long can you keep your economy closed, di ba?
No, but if they're growing 5%, that's very respectable for a large country like them, di ba? If they're growing 3-5, okay lang sa kanila eh.
Okay. Doc Alvin, what if the war in Ukraine drags for another 2-3 years? What is going to be the impact? Do we adjust towards that or?
Yung implication dyan is, for example, definitely fertilizer prices will remain elevated.
Mm-hmm. Kasi they're one of the bigger producers of mga di ba?
Oo. So, kailangan na tayong maghanap ng ibang sources.
Wheat, malakas pa rin pala sila, no?
Wheat. Oo, sila rin yung main producer. Okay. So, kailangan din.
Pero we understand in economy, di ba? Pag ganyan, makakahanap tayo, we will adjust. Like, what happened to oil, di ba? And stuff like this.
Maghanap tayo. Definitely naman, hindi naman masi-zero yung supply. And all these producers, meron namang yan eh. Hindi lang naman, hindi monopoly itong mga products na yun.
Hindi siya absolute.
Other producers. So,
diba, we understand for oil-producing countries, at a certain price, it's now, diba, some of them, at a certain price, it's not cost-effective for them, so they might as well import. But when certain price of oil has increased certain enough, it's now more better for them to produce their own oil. Kasi diba, we see it happen in some countries na mataas yung cost of producing oil, but at a certain price of oil per barrel, it makes sense for them, no? Countries like the US, Canada, and mga other oil-producing countries.
Magano na yun. Kasi kung ang gagawin nila, itatago na lang nila yung pinoproduce nila rather than refine it and it's more expensive, di ba?
Pero kunyari, mahal ngayon, may Ukraine problem, mahal lahat, lalabas na nila ngayon yun.
Actually, nilabas doon si US, matagal na siya naglalabas ng reserves niya. Pero I think the war will fade away.
Mm-hmm.
Will fade away.
Yeah.
Kasi, it's almost a year now. It's in a stalemate. So,
there's no escalation, no?
So
what if, Doc Alvin, what if it suddenly pesos brokered, bang, tapos na yung war? What's gonna be the impact?
Yung pa, no? It could also fully integrate the world economy, no? Yun yung lalakas na naman yung demand. That piece will actually increase demand. It will increase supply, no? So, sino mauuna? Demand o yung supply? Baka mahuli si supply, mamahal pa rin. So, may mga shocks pa eh. May mga shocks pa.
Okay, we're not...
Na hindi masama, no? So, in fact, I was toying in my mind, kanina I read in the news si WHO. Kasi I think the biggest shock in the world economy is when the WHO finally announced that COVID is endemic. No? And they haven't done that. In fact, they keep on warning pa. So, parang may caution pa sila. Kasi hindi nila alam pa totally itong, are we ending this fully? Because sabi nila 90% immune na eh.
Okay.
But, I'm not a medical doctor, but the same statistics. If ikaw, bro, pag 90% na, di ba? Ano pang inaantay mo? Gusto mo? Kasi, medical needs 100. Social science, 60% nga, majority na yun, pwede na.
Hindi pwede. Diba? Pwede yung 100. Alright?
Medical science, kailangan 99%.
Disconnect eh. Okay. So from Ronnie Fernandez, last question now. What can you say about the latest rating on Fitch on the Philippines? BBB outlook is now negative.
Matagal na negative yun. Pandemic pa, height of the pandemic pa, negative na. No?
Marami naman sila binaliktad din because of the pandemic.
Ako, okay lang yung mga ratings na yan. All countries in the world have very bad ratings right now. No? So,
Makahanap naman ng maganda ngayon. No?
so may magandang rating ngayon.
And that's something that we understand. No? Kahit na negative tayo, kung lahat naman negative, it just all cancels out. Ang problema, kung maraming positive, negative tayo, then that's
Yun. Yun. Tsaka hindi naman tayo dinowngrade. Yung outlook lang.
Okay.
Kung dinowngrade tayo, that's a different question. No? Na, ibig sabihin, hindi ka na investment grade, for example, or di ibang kwento yun. But yun nga eh, I mean, that alone explains, no, Randall, sinasabi mo, how is the economic team doing? No? By ensuring that we're not downgraded, that's already something, no, to tell, that these people are doing their job very well, despite the challenges.
Yes.
You get a negative rating, then, I mean, Singapore also, I think, is I'm not sure, but, I think they also have this kind of a rating. Outlook, yung mga outlook, lahat nagne-negative. Pero, sino ba ang positive ang outlook? In this regard, no? So, kailangan muna, once the world integrates again, and COVID is finally declared endemic, that's a major global event. No? It's just like, I don't know, parang na-delay na masyado eh. Pero parang World War II yan sinabi, D-Day, di ba? Ganun sana yun.
Pero lakas ng shock niya, no? I'm sure that you're gonna spike demand for many things. And the supply is not ready.
Yun na nga, supply ready. Yun yung sinasabi ko. A good shock that would increase prices all the more.
Yeah,
and I'm not I'm thinking political economy. Kung mag-isip ka lang din, baka rin ganyan. Kaya hindi mo ma-announce kasi yung shock eh. Meron ka pang mataas na inflation, may war in Russia pa and in Ukraine, so
handaan mo na.
Baka ma-overwhelm, no? Kaya
Doc Alvin, I asked this from you before. I'm gonna ask it again. What is your wish list for, if you're gonna talk to, I know you get to talk to them, but if you're gonna get to have a one-on-one with the economic team, what would be your, give us top three wish list for them, for the country also, not just the economic team, but the country. Top 3 wish list mo.
top 3.
Pero gusto ko marinig nila eh.
Ako siguro kung top lang, isa lang eh.
Go.
Alam mo naman yung heart ko, I want to fix agriculture, but we have to be very specific. Yun nga, yung sinasabi ko, please do this inventory. You have the digital system in place. Almost ilang percent, 60% now of the population have bank accounts kahit na online. So use this technology to do that inventory. Kasi kung wala tayo niyan, it's a very economic solution.
Is that in the hearts? Is that in the... Are they thinking about that? Are they considering that?
I have not seen it anywhere, but I have talked about it many times na magkaroon ka lang ng magandang inventory na open, transparent, that would, trigger a lot of thinking.
So, if that's beneficial, what's preventing them from doing that?
Ay, hindi ko rin alam. Tapos, second, I want to make internet, at least basic internet free. Gawin mo siyang kahit na 6 Mbps lang yung speed. Hindi mo kailangan naman ng speed na gamit ni Randall eh. Yung speed lang na para makapag-check siya ng messages.
Para makapag-TikTok lang, gano'n.
Hindi enough. 6 Mbps, babagal yun. For learning lang. For learning, for price checking. Di ba? Yun nga yung
basic connectivity.
Yeah, make it free. And,
how can that impact the economy, Doc Alvin? We talked about this in the past, but...
Grabe, we are now in a world of technology, di ba? I mean, kung ganon, if we will be able to educate a lot of people, help them understand prices, help them understand yung pati yung disaster challenge natin sa Pilipinas, di ba? So, kung ganun lang, malaking tulong malaking tulong maging available yung internet for everyone. Malaking tulong yun. So yun,
Second, okay.
battery, internet, may isa ako nawala sa isip ko. Yung number 3 siguro na kailangan gawin ng, well, yung sa agri kasi kung ginawa mo inventory, maiisipan mo na mag-cold storage, lahat, logistics, magko-connect yun eh. So, inventory ka lang, magagawa mo na lahat yun, makikita mo na yung problema.
And you can, tsaka parang tayo nang hukula, di ba?
Oo. Para hindi ka hit and miss. Pero kailangan nga nun yung basic internet connectivity of everybody. Kung meron lahat nun, malaking tulong. Whether it is farming, whether it's manufacturing, whether it is disaster mitigation,
Kaya pwede, di ba?
Oo, lahat.
Kung pwede sa Shopee, pwede sa...
Oo, nagagamit na di ba? So, tsaka ang laking information na pwedeng ma-download doon for people to know what is happening in the world, no?
Okay.
Link.
So,
isa pero nalimutan ko na pag naalala ko text ko sa'yo.
Okay, so question also, here's a question. Every developed country are preparing for deglobalization in response to China. Is that happening? I don't know. What do you think is the impact of the Philippine economy? This is a thing.
I think what is meant by the question is yun yung partly yung own capacity, yung security.
Ano sabihin deglobalizing, di ba?
Hindi siya deglobalizing, pero parang bawasan mo yung dependence mo sa global value chain. What you can produce without cost to you domestically, you produce it, no?
At sa atin clear, food. We can produce food because we were producing food many years ago. Diba?
Exactly. Kaya nga yun no-brainer yung pagkain.
We have the land, we have the
sasakyan for example, wag na natin pag-usapan pero kaya natin mag-produce ng electric car dito may nagpo-produce ng mga electric vehicles by the way, Vietnam just launched their first electric car for sale only in the United States. I mean, pag inaisip mo yon, di ba, paano nangyari? Hindi paano nangyari, they work on it, no? So parang ganun din sana tayo.
And in Vietnam, it's one of the fastest internet.
Yes.
Mura pa. It's not free, but it's really cheap. Ridiculously cheap. Kasi the government invested. Diba? Yung sinasabi sa Pilipinas gumawa ng investments ng infrastructure nila gobyerno tapos sinacharge na lang yung telco. Kasi kung telco maglalabas ng pera dyan, hindi naman, diba? Paano nila mababawi yun? So, things like this are happening. Middle East, gano'n din ginawa. Diba? The government invested in the infrastructure for telco and internet. And then, now, or your business, or you buy from us, you lease from us, we'll sell to you. And the advantage ng kunera. Anyway, layo na punta natin. Baka kung ano na mga reklamo natin. Okay, so that's okay, so any more? For wala na question, so Doc Alvin, what are parting words mo for tonight for everybody?
Well, remember yung what I shared this evening is not something unique to the Philippines, no? We're all experiencing a high inflation all over the world. In fact, our inflation is not as high as US, Europe, di ba? But that doesn't mean that, pati yung debt hindi ganun kataas. But that doesn't mean that we are okay na walang gagawin. We have to do something. We have to bring those levels down. And that involves you and me. We cannot depend so much that government will do it for us. The government can only do so much, very limited. So para sa akin, if you can invest, that means you can start a business, you can hire people, give job opportunities like Randall, namimigay ng 13th month. Yan. Kailangan may ganun, no?
Kailangan negosyo.
Hindi kailangan mayroong tayong business tsaka yung production kind of business, hindi yung trading. Maraming Pilipino trading ang gustong business eh. Mag-stock lang, no? So kailangan yung merong production because that is what we are really lacking.
Yeah.
Pag hindi tayo nakapag-produce na may process, ang nangyayari, mag-i-import pa rin tayo kasi walang local producer, di ba?
And money is made in production. Di ba yung guys na nandun, no? You can only do so much in trading, but if you really make money, it's production.
Totoo yun.
Creating food is production pa rin yan, di ba? You're creating
May process yan eh. May quality control, di ba?
hindi ka ng ingredient, mag-hire kang tao to do it, distribution. So, sa value chain, umiikot siya. But, rather than just trading it. So, yun yung point. So, yung mga negosyante, pag kumita na ng pera, di ba? Di ba? Production kumita na, tapos ililipat na pera, na lang, rental na lang, real estate na lang gusto. I mean, it's counterproductive for everybody.
Hindi hindi sustainable kasi what if humina ang economy, di ba?
What happened to us?
Katulad ng nangyayari ngayon na maraming real estate hindi pa naka-recover fully, di ba? Yung rental rate depressed pa rin.
Tawag ko dyan, Doc, the myth of passive income.
Wala. Passive income, pa rin, biblical pa rin yung magandang diyan na wag mo ilagay sa isang basket, i-distribute mo. Meron kang passive, sige. Meron ka ring very active.
Yeah. Hindi yung goal ng tao purely passive income. We need to be productive people, guys. So anyway, so that's another discussion point. Again, Doc Alvin, salamat. No? Thank you for always making time for, hindi ka nagkasawa sa lahat ng invitation ko. Okay? We continue to partner with you, continue to be our coach, our mentor, our speaker in the economics. And again, this is for everybody. This show is going to be played and replayed, going to be shared. So hindi lang to sa mga nanood ngayong gabi, but so for those of you who are watching, I'd like to thank all of you for making this good show. So again, bye Alvin, salamat for doing this for all of us.
Thank you.
Hey, so guys, so we're about to end our event. So again, sobrang thankful ako that in the past few months you've supported this live stream. I am still considering whether I'm still gonna do it because I've been traveling like crazy also. So medyo the work has been loaded, but I like doing these things. So maybe we'll see. I'll talk to others who can continue to support this. And again, we want to bring in guys so my mind is actually working right now, maybe bring in Dodong and the others so that you can be exposed to him and the others also. No? So again, salamat for all of you. We continue to pray for the economy, pray for all of us, and we understand that, guys, God is always going to be sovereign. He's always in control. Never forget that. Kaya kami nila Alvin, we are concerned with what's happening in the economy, but we're not fearful because we understand at the end, God is always sovereign and He's always in control. We put our faith. Tamang-tama, kapasko na. Let's not miss out the message of Christmas. We're celebrating because our Savior has been born to save us. And He saved us 2,000 years ago. He saved us in the beginning of time. He will continue to save us until the years to come. With this, salamat. So since this is going to be our ending session for ending live stream for 2022, I'd like to personally thank people who made this possible. Again, si Atram, para lang baka makalimutan ko, no? Please follow Atram. Atram has great content also that I want to be able to share with you. Okay, so again, just follow them. May social media sila. Atram Studio in YouTube, Atram Asset Management in Facebook, and also in LinkedIn, and saan pa sila? They're also in Instagram, okay? So hopefully magkaka-TikTok na rin sila. So do follow them, scan to get them. Yan, so subscribe to the Atram YouTube channel. Very helpful. You can also catch me in the YouTube channel. Andyan din ako, okay? So yan yung situation ko. So again, salamat Atram for always supporting me. Atram has been a wonderful partner all these years. We work together, G-Invest and all these things. Salamat Atram, and thank you for doing this. So subscribe and follow them. And you can also join their Viber community, Atram Philippine community. Again, you scan, there's a scan so that they can take you. Atram, I'm part of that. I get reports from what's happening. I also invest there, so wonderful partner for all of them. So again, the wonderful people in Atram, Andrew, Jeannie, and everybody else, salamat for always supporting me. The speakers that we've invited over the years, we have David Lichu over the months, David Lichu, Dr. Alvin Ang, Miguel Liboro. We have so many of those that really are helpful. You can still watch them and rewatch them. They're in my Facebook, scroll lang kayo, and also in my YouTube. It's a live. Hindi binago na YouTube, hanapin nyo sa live. It's there. Also like to give props to my tech guy. Kung napansin nyo, maganda na yung aming mga live stream ngayon. So we have Brian of, baka magkamali ako, no? Hindi SoundCloud, Cloud Studio. Okay, so check him out in Facebook, Cloud Studio. Brian Ordiales for making this possible. To Brian, to Jeannie, to Andrew, everybody has helped me, and all the speakers. Again, salamat. And with that, Merry Christmas, guys! Happy New Year! Mag-ingat-ingat lang. Do follow me, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. I'm still there. And for all of you for supporting this live stream, salamat and God bless you. Bye, guys! Goodbye!